Thank you, Robert Dharma, for joining me today. We're in
Medan? Yes.
Medan, Indonesia. And Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world. It's China, India, United States, and then Indonesia. It's a huge country. And since Americans are only having about 2 babies per family, and they're having about 5, in just less than a generation, they're going to pass the United States in population. Um, Most of Indonesia is south of the equator,
Yes.
but we're north of the equator right now.
Slightly north.
Yeah, but just
That's
technically slightly north of the equator. The country is just beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But I know that you're the past president of the Asian Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry. I know you like to talk about aesthetics, but before we go there, I want to talk about one thing. I think a lot of dentists are interested in, and that's Javamon, and the fact that enamel is the hardest substance in the human body. So whenever they find old fossils of any animals or humans, they always find the teeth. And you're from Java,
Yes.
and isn't Java where they found some of the oldest humans
Yes.
that ever lived?
Yes. They found it in nearby Solo. Solo is in central Java. Actually, it's found many years ago by a Dutch researcher, Dutch archaeologist Du Bois, if I'm mistaken the name. And since that time they only have the skull, the top of the skull, and then after that they found part of the jaw. They keep that skull in Netherlands for many years, and now it's already back in Indonesia in Central Java where they found it nearby. They found it. That's very interesting because we call it's Pithecanthropus. Pithecanthropus means the first stand-up ape. That's and it's difficult to explain why it's there. Usually, they found it's in Africa, or in Australia. But maybe that time Africa or Australia and Indonesia still in one big island. So there's a lot of fossils there, but from human it's not much, but a lot there.
So they think at that time Indonesia and Africa.
Africa and Australia in the same big island. Same
Wow.
big continent
Wow.
in that time.
Huh, that is so amazing. I always loved anthropology just because whenever you're flipping through and you see an article, it's always teeth.
Yes.
So I never could understand how a dentist wouldn't have to stop and look at anything that has a picture of a tooth. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. So tell us, so Indonesia is about 250 million people.
Yes, 250 million.
And it's I got a picture here of how many dentists. I think the number of dentists now. Dentist here is Dr. Gigi.
Dr. Gigi. Dr. Gigi. Doctor is doctor.
Yeah.
Gigi, it's mean teeth.
Gigi.
Yes.
That's funny because one of my favorite dentists in America is in California, and that's her name, Dr. Gigi. So
Born to be dentist.
well, she was born to be a dentist. I wonder if her mom named her. I did a podcast interview with her about 100 episodes ago, and I wonder if her mom preordained her to be a dentist by calling her Dr. So it's pronounced Gigi.
Yes.
And then instead of a DR in front of the name, you put DRG because it's Dr. Gigi.
Yes.
And Indonesia has 27,000 Dr. Gigi, and then Dr. Gigi specialist, another 3,000. So I did the math on that. The United States has a dentist for about every 2,800 people. You guys have a dentist for about every 9,000.
Yes.
So tell us, what is dentistry like in Indonesia?
Okay. We still lack of dentists, but also the problem is it's not Indonesian population is not all can afford dentistry. Even the government provide the cheap dentistry, but still cannot afford first. The secondly is Indonesia is so big. There's a lot of remote places that not have dentistry services there. That's the first one. The second one, that's from 240 million people live in Indonesia, it's about 70 million live in Java only. The Java island is so crowded, and all the professionals is there. That's the first problem. The second problem is 70% of the dentists is women, and who works full
Now
timer
you
dentist.
can't say that a woman dentist is a problem because your daughter's a dentist.
That's
Are you
like my
saying your
problem.
daughter's a problem?
She will face something. She will face something.
Does she agree with what you're saying here? She's not sure. She's on standby, ready to interrupt that. But so the first problem was most of the professionals are where the 70 million people live,
Yes.
and not in the rural areas.
Yes.
And that's a problem we see in China, the United
Everywhere.
States, everywhere. The dentists always want to live in the big city. They don't
Yeah.
want to live out in the rural. So
Yeah.
what? And the second problem you said was women dentists.
Yes, because women dentists will be lost about 10, 20, 15 years of their productive time for a family. After that, they can start the professional life after the kid grows.
So you in Indonesia, you see a lot of women dentists.
Yes,
who,
part-timer.
when they get married and have children.
Become a part-timer dentist. That's
And-
not full-timer dentist.
Now you've been doing dentistry for 32 years.
Yes,
So this is what you've seen
yes,
for 32 years.
yes. I'm actually very active with this kind of numbers because I worked 16 and a half years in Bureau of Statistics, Indonesian Bureau of Statistics. 16 and a half years. I'm public servant there, and also I quite active in the organization, professional organization in Indonesia or abroad. So yes, that's what we find in this 30 years that I saw. But you see that Indonesia produce about 1,000 dentists every year, but registered dentists maybe that number, but practicing dentists maybe less than that. Full-time practicing dentist, I'm sure it's less than 20 something.
That's amazing because the United States and Indonesia are about the same population. You're 240. United States is 330. You graduate 1,000 dentists a year.
Yes.
The United States graduates 6,000 a year. That's
That's
amazing. So how many islands are there in Indonesia?
17,000.
17,000.
1,000.
Is
Not
that
all inhabited.
how many of those would have people on them?
I don't know, maybe less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000? But is there any other country that's people are spread out on 1,000 islands living?
I don't think so. We proud to call us as the jewels of the what you call it, the jewels islands. We are islands. We are not just a big country. There's a big islands, a lot of islands. We call it maritime what you call it, country. We're not solid land. We have a lot more island than solid big island. It's only we have
So,
big islands.
I'm 53, you're
56.
56. I want to ask you a personal question from a professional personal question. Do you think, in your 30 years, do you think decay is increasing, staying the same, or decreasing in the 3 decades that you've been on the front line of fighting tooth decay?
Okay, the first thing that I can see is there's too much work to do. Too much work to do. It means that I saw that a lot of new foods produce cavity. Even they promote the toothpaste, promote the toothbrush, promote do the mouth care, dental care, but the food here is really junk, But that junk food that we only that junk food that we can afford by many people. For instance, do you know that kids they eat a lot of what do you call it?
Carbohydrate?
Not just carbohydrate, sticky carbohydrate. 3 years, 5 years old, is already eat that thing, and they don't do the brushing. They used to be like that. Once they have problem with the cavity, they don't go to the dentist. They said, okay, this is only baby tooth, and that's happened more and more now. Yes, in the middle class, okay, I think they take care better now, but middle class is only so small. in
What
Indonesia.
percent would you say is the middle class?
I cannot say exactly, but middle class maybe about middle class in Indonesia. It means they have income about about $1,000 per month. Uh, Maybe about 15%, something like that.
15%? And what percent would be the rich?
The rich, oh, 1% maybe, but they own about 80% of the capital here.
1% rich, 15% middle class?
And
Well, let me ask it another way. When you got out of school in 1984, and the average 6-year-old kid walked into your office, how many cavities did that average 6-year-old kid have 32 years ago versus today?
the DMF statistic, they said that's still in the same 3 point something like that in Indonesia. But I don't know exactly because I'm in the bureaus of statistic in Indonesia, but the research for that thing is only covered a few part of the population, and the few part is actually the part that who children or someone who works or go to school. The rest they don't difficult to count, difficult to be in the survey. So that's number is very difficult to set because that number is came from not a very solid or well spread samples. That's the problem. But thankfully, but like part in Irian or in a very east in Indonesia where it's very remote and very traditional, they still have very good jaw, very good teeth because they eat something hard, something raw. They're still in that age, and there the DMF is very low, except abrasion is a lot, but the cavity is very low. But in the city in the Java, whoa, we eat a lot of carbohydrate, sticky carbohydrate, and that's
I think
the
it's
thing.
so fun to go to other countries because in America you have these thoughts about a country, and then you go to these countries. A lot of times it's totally different. Like the funniest experience I had was going to India, because as I was born and raised, everybody told me that they were
Yes.
Hindus, they were vegans, they didn't eat meat, they were so nutritious. And I went to New Delhi. I never saw so many people eat so many snack foods in my life. I mean, you walk into a dentist's
Yes,
house, and his wife would greet you with a platter of pastas and cookies, and I never ate so many sweets in my life. In this, so you're saying that in the big cities, the junk
Bad.
food is getting worse,
Worse.
and in the rural areas, they're still eating
There's
healthy.
still something I think better in the rural thing.
Yeah.
But that's most of them live in Java where the junk food is.
So I imagine in a country where the people are living on 1,000 different islands that you couldn't really implement like community water fluoridation. That seems.
Don't think about that.
What's that?
No fluoridation in the water, drinking water
Anywhere.
anywhere.
And what are your thoughts on that? Do you think is that what the
It's
people
too far.
want?
It's too far for us. Too far for us to have that things. It's too far. Still too far. Even for
You mean
drinking water, only for good drinking water, it's too far for us.
what do you mean too far? Too
To-
expensive? Or
Not just expensive,
too far out to do now?
too far to provide a good drinking water to the population. We just drink everything. In the city they drink bottle, and in the rural area they drink something that take out from from the wells, and just some of them they do take from the river, something like that. Some of them in very east southern they just wait for the 3 months or 4 months rain and keep it that waters. In Jakarta, okay, some part of Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, some part they have good waters. In one or two estates, they have a very good water. But that's all. The rest, no. Acid water, what you call from acid rain, there's a lot here. And you can see that problem in their teeth, especially like in part of Kalimantan, part of Bangka, where there's in the tin not industry, then production of tin. There, they take a lot of tin, then, and the water there is so bad. And one part of Sumatra, in the southern part of the Sumatra, they eat a lot of vinegar in daily basis. That's that's yeah, that's the problem.
So the acid rain is from burning coal.
Whatever, a lot of things. Burning coal, or even burning forests. They burn forests to have the land.
Now I want to. You were the president of the Asian Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, and one of the things I find the most interesting amongst my dental colleagues is some are attracted to treat kids, which would scare me to death. Some, like you, are into cosmetic dentistry, and that just never really motivated me. I always liked the pain chair. I liked the person in pain and being the hero, getting him out of pain and getting a tooth extracted or a root canal, or I like the blood and guts. I always make fun of dentists like you. I call them vegan vampires because a dentist who doesn't like blood and gut surgery is a vegan, and it's like if you're a vampire. But so, what made you get interested in aesthetic dentistry?
There's two stories. There's two things. Before I become a dentist, there's two things, and after become a dentist, there's one thing. One is my father is actually a dentist, and one time in his career, he came home and bring 2 pot of plastic bottles and said, "Oh, this is so good." You know what he bring home? It's adaptic, the first composite.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And this material mimic the tooth color. I can mix it. That's the first thing. The second,
Adaptic. And who made that? Was that 3M?
I forgot it. I forgot. Just small.
Yeah, I remember.
White,
I remember.
adaptic. And after that, I'm going to dental school, and in the third years, someone change your smile book. That's really interests me. And from that time, I make the paper or everything in the school in as cosmetic dentist or aesthetic dentist field. And then after graduate, I met someone as a patient who don't have any money, but his boss said, please treat her because this young girl, very shy, because her teeth is not so good. So okay, I make that, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 veneers. And I saw the changes, the life changing of her, see directly in front of my eyes. How from very shy, now it's become very nice girls, and then have boyfriends, and then married, and have a good life. And you know that picture, that case picture, I bring to San Francisco, I bring to Hawaii in the AACD Congress, and that picture won 2 prizes. One in San Francisco, the first prizes, and in Hawaii, a third prize for that case. That makes it okay. I have to be here. So
That's amazing. And you know what? It proves the point that as dentists, the patient's mental health is
Yes.
more important than their dental health.
Yes.
And we're treating a human
Yes.
that needs to be happy and healthy,
Yes.
not a bunch of rocks in their mouth.
Yes. That makes that okay. I have to go to this path.
So is aesthetic dentistry, do you think, the same in every country around the world, or do you think aesthetic dentistry issues are different in Milan, Indonesia, Medan? Am I saying that right?
Oh, Medan.
Medan, Indonesia, versus where I live in Phoenix, Arizona?
Okay. We don't know about aesthetic dentistry before. Or our path is go to United States, because there they built the first modern cosmetic dentistry or aesthetic dentistry. But the implementation of the concept of the textbook of all the numbers from United States, from Europe and United States, it's very difficult to put it in Asian people. The number is odd. If we, for instance, You can have cut the gum about 2 millimeters. You still have 2 millimeters attached gingiva. We cannot do it here. The attached gingiva here is very thin. It's very thin biotype. It's very short teeth. So it's quite difficult. The problem also because all the material, all the system, all the brackets, something like that, they made in a number of Caucasian, not for Asian. Asian is different profile. Bimax in Asia is normal. It's normal. It's good. But because they use that number of the bracket, they make it as a Caucasian. There's something now we see something strange. Asian, but just like Angelina Jolie. Asian, just like Taylor Swift. Something like that. That okay, we lose something, but now Japan and Korea are starting to do the better research. Hopefully everything will balance. Everything's good.
Well, we said that to our instructors at the University of Missouri Kansas City Dental School when they were showing us these orthodontic patterns, and then they were saying that 95% of Japanese and 95% of Africans were under the pathology side, the bimaxillary
Yes.
protrusion, and we're just raising our hands saying, well, if 95% of everybody has something, wouldn't that be the normal? I mean, that's just simple statistics. So it reminds me of when the British started making the maps first, they always put Britain on the top and Australia on the bottom. And I love it when I go to Australia and I see global maps that has Australia on the top and Britain on the bottom. So explain that. I think that might have spoken over your head. Explain what you mean on the aesthetics for Caucasian versus
Okay.
Asian bimaxillary protrusion.
Okay. First thing that I found, not I found in my professional life, I saw first thing is about the movie. Hollywood movie is everywhere. Is everywhere we watch the Hollywood movie. In that time, maybe 70 something, there's a lot good movie from Taiwan. Taiwan is in Asia. All of the players, all the movie stars there, have teeth crowned that time to make as good as Hollywood smiles, Hollywood film smiles. Everything's like that. At that time, the first time that okay, something odd, but okay, that's the trend. Everyone say that okay, beauty is just like what we saw in the movie.
So you're saying Bruce Lee had all of his teeth crowned?
Yes,
Are you serious?
yes. Bruce Lee, if all the women, all the girl, crown, all.
In Bruce Lee's movie?
In Bruce Lee, yes.
Wow, I never knew that. When I was a little boy, that he was my hero.
Yes, with that. Yes, yes. But you see, you just try to find old Taiwanese movie. It's all is crown. All is crown. That time's crown is the best. Yeah, PFM crown is the best.
And why were they doing it? To make the teeth whiter?
No, because they want to mimic the film star in Hollywood movies. They have straight to the teeth, something like that. Asian not like that. Asian is slightly protrusive. Slightly protrusive. Bimax actually.
So are Africans, right?
Even more.
Africans are more?
Africans more and longer, thicker. The biotype of the gum is different. And Asian is the biotype is very thin biotype. Is very scalloped. The teeth is short. That's Asian.
Well, a couple things. Lecturing in Africa, the African dentists on the ground all tell me they only see a fraction of the gum disease as reported in European countries in America. And when in Korea, the founder of Megagen said he started his Megagen implant company because Noble Biocare would not listen to the failures they were having. And when they were telling him, okay, this might work in European people, but this is not working on Koreans. They have a different biting force, a different chewing pattern. And the Swedes were like, no, people are people.
Korean is something. You're talking about implant. To put implant from African people is very easy. Big, a lot of bone, a lot of very good gum. And for Korean, also good because usually Korean have a very big jaw, lower jaw. It's a typical of their what you call that, Korean, big strong jaw, and usually it's quite bigger. Korean slightly different because the profile or the what you call it, the face structure, the bone structure is quite slightly different than the other Asian. Korean and Mongoloid is slightly same, but Japan even is same in the same tree. Uh, Indonesia, Malaysia, sometimes is more petite than them. That's that's a very what we call complex situation. And yes, we can say that 9 or 10 millimeters implant is standard, but it's not easy to put it in this type of people. 8 millimeters, maybe. Megagen, they make a big one, very big one, because most of them have a very big jaw, very good muscles there. Now they use a lot of surgery or a lot of Botox to reduce the muscle and the bone to make it shorter. But basically, they have the thing situation. It's the same as the east part of Indonesia, also a big jaw. Something like that. So yes, we still develop. We have some research, but yeah, still have the research about the what we need actually. Indonesia is only have one patent for implant, and you know this patent is produced by Korean, not produced by Indonesian. So we start.
So when you lecture around the world on aesthetic dentistry, what do you like to lecture on?
The first time I lecture is the word of bonding, because that time the bonding, I got that concept from Dr. Kanka, Gwyneth, something like in NYU that time. That's really changed. Okay, bonding, that's very nice. It's very what you call? It's like something finding something that I'm looking for many years. The wet dentin bonding system, something like that from John Kanka the third. So that I'm very that's the first thing that I like about aesthetic dentistry. Before we do cement. Now it's bonding. That's the first time that I really like about the dentistry. And the first time I go deep to the bonding system, to Fusayama, to lot of bonding, and then have a lot of inspiration from Byung In Soo. You ever heard?
Oh, Byung Soo and
The Bisco.
and Bisco founder
Ithaca.
in
It's
outside of
Ithaca.
Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, where's
I
that
went
at?
there. I went there and then okay, this is the bonding, and that's changed, really changed. That's the first that I like to do. Lately now, I do two things. One is biomimetic. The other one is minimally invasive. To do lecturing.
First, do no harm.
Yes, please.
Save
Do
the
no
tooth.
harm. Yes.
I remember one of my instructors, the first thing he taught me in operative dentistry, he said, hey kids, he goes, when your grandma turns 90 years old, if she's still alive, she'll have 9 teeth. And guess which teeth those are? And we're raising our hand, we're saying the incisors, the canines, the premolars. He goes, no. They're the only 9 teeth a dentist never touched.
Yes.
Every time you touch that tooth, you're going to condemn it to retreatment.
Yes.
And if she lives long enough, no matter what you do will fail, and eventually that tooth's going to be in the trash can.
Yes.
So rule number 1, don't touch the tooth.
The most advanced dentistry now is the dentistry that can keep the nature as much as possible.
So so in your practice today in aesthetic dentistry, is that bleaching, bonding, veneers?
Oh, okay.
Does it include orthodontics?
I'm a GP. Actually, I'm a general practitioner that I like. That's funny actually. I myself like and love about aesthetic dentistry or cosmetic dentistry, but most of my patients came because painless dentistry. Why? Because I care. I don't want to do too much to the dentist, to the teeth. That makes the patient came look for me for that, not for the aesthetic. So that's quite interesting actually. Now in my office, I have solo practitioner. I'm very limited to just I'm old, so I have to limit my practice. I have my own endodontist. I have my own periodontist. I own my implantologist. So okay, I just become the conductor, except for people that really close, patient that really close for many years, become my patient. Even the kid, my patient, and now the grandchildren is my patient too. That's okay. That we can interact well. But what interesting is my charge is aesthetic dentistry charge, not for family dentistry. And bleaching, something I don't do bleaching. It's too easy. I just ask someone else to do it. But I like to design. I like to make a treatment plan. I like that better. Veneer, I like it very much. Especially the thin veneer. I do it myself especially with now the CAD cam. I do it myself. Everything.
With what kind of CAD cam?
Cerac. I use Cerac.
So you do veneers with a Cerac CAD cam?
Yes, I do, because it makes a lot easier. I can just melt the block and then cut back and then do something like that. I like that things. Strange, yeah, for old people.
No, I always tell dentists at the end of the day, I just want them to be happy and healthy.
Yes, I like that.
I don't want them to kill themselves. I don't want them to go home and get drunk every night. I don't want them to eat pills. I want them to just be happy and healthy. That means buying a laser or being a cosmetic dentist or treating kids. I don't care. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Because once they start doing something they hate for money to pay their bills, it always ends in a train wreck.
I like it with this CAD cam because I can throw away that stack of what you call porcelain powders, and now I can play just. It's already have the base, cut a little bit here and paint something.
Now, when you say minimally invasive dentistry, some of the cosmetic dentistry, they say minimally invasive means I'm going to do composite direct veneers.
No, okay.
And then some dentists call themselves minimally invasive dentistry, but they prep the teeth. They drill the teeth down 1.5 millimeters. So how do you rationalize minimally invasive with preparing teeth for veneers?
Okay, for it, it's very easy to make some explanation with veneers. I like to do orthodontic first before veneers.
Okay, so you do ortho too.
Invisalign, why? Why not? Lingual anterior, why not? It's simple.
So you do Invisalign.
Yes.
But how are you doing what brand are you doing for lingual anteriors?
Dentsply GAC.
Dentsply?
Yes.
TAZ?
GAC.
Oh, Dentsply GAC.
Yes. Only for the front. If we can make the teeth straight and bring a little bit to the back, so the veneer will be.
So, why do you think braces on the buccal are so popular, but the solution, which can be all done on the lingual, is so rare that people go to removable retainers, which allows the patient to take over on compliance or non-compliance?
No.
Why do you think lingual braces are so slow to catch on?
It's difficult.
Difficult for the dentist?
Dentist.
Yeah, exactly.
That's difficult for the dentist. But in the front, it's okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot easier.
It's faster. In Invisalign, we have to wait few weeks. In Indonesia, we have to wait about 8 weeks. For simple crowding on the lower with lingual, 8 weeks we will finish. But if you go in a more severe case, okay, we have to wait, okay. But if just mild crowding on the lower anterior, it's very easy to do that. Few weeks.
So the problem with lingual braces is when you do braces on the buccal of the teeth, it's a smooth area to bond a bracket. And when you bond a lingual brace, you got the lingual cingulum.
No, Not that. It's easier to see direct than easier than to see.
So you think it's just the direct versus indirect?
Yes, because if we use the indirect placement, it's more cost, weight again. And now they have what called the computer aided design of braces that for the lingual. I don't know. Is that not popular? And even I don't want to use it. It's too complicated for me to place that. Even they said I trained that. Okay, just put that sectional what you call holders. I put it. Oh no, I have a lot of what you call. If I have that problem, I give it to the orthodontist who's the best for that, not me.
So I want to ask. We're running out of time. You say. Um, I want to share something I've observed all around the world. That occupations they generally run in families. I mean, I don't care
Yes.
if you're a goat herder, your dad was a goat herder, your grandpa was a goat herder. It just seems like whenever I go around the world, if I meet a dentist in their family tree, there's a whole slew of dentists. I mean, I've had dinner in houses where literally a dozen dentists. I mean, the mom, the dad, three kids, their wives. I mean, I think the record it was in Brazil. I think there were 27 dentists alive in this one family tree. You said your dad was a dentist. You said your daughter I just met. She's graduating in a year or two. In Indonesia, is the profession of dentistry a family affair? Are most dentists born into dentistry through the family?
Okay. I like you to ask this because I can talk about this in many hours. But okay, first in Indonesia, there's one tree family have more than 50 dentists. First,
So you think it's a genetic? You think it's a genetic
no,
disease?
no. The problem with Indonesia is we cannot separate between the real sector and the financial sector. What we know as a dentist is only the real sector. We live with the real sector that, okay, we can live well in the real sector. So why we have to move to another place that we don't know, but about the financial sector of the life, of the business of this world. So everyone is going, okay, go to dentistry because it can give you good life. But they only know that thing that's so narrow about the life, about the occupation. So in this family with a narrow minded, most of them, okay, after me, you. I'm a good life. I can go everywhere. I can have a good car. I have a good home. I have a decent life. Why not you not go here? That's the problem about this kind of situation. What I see in Indonesia, everyone said, okay, this is private. This is ours. Everything we bought it with our money and we got it from there. But they don't think about actually. It's too much you spend to get something like that. But now, even for my daughter, I said, okay, you learn dentistry because I like it. I hope someone want to be my successor because I like it, I love it. But I asked her, after graduate, you have to go to something else in dentistry at least 2 years before you choose to go to anything else. I asked her to go to MBA, to go to the financial sectors. I said, please check it. Which one is good for you? You think good? I said, in this real sector, to become a dentist, I know a lot. Don't worry. But on that financial sector, I'm dumb. Please go. And then we discuss. That I saw that the problem of us. And luckily, this 50 more dentist family have one son, a dentist graduate from England, and somehow his mind is go in the financial sector, and he supported by his sister, also quite like in this financial sector, and I saw this family become very good in this business. financial sector and the real sector. That's actually that I say that okay, we have to see out the box, not just the 32, 52 teeth only. There's something else that you have to develop. Maybe after this, for the next generation, they can balance it better.
Well, it is true. Like in the United States, if you listed everyone who made $50 million take-home income last year, every single one of them's in insurance, banking, and finance.
Yes.
I mean, there's just
Yeah.
it's not dentistry and dermatology
Yeah.
and OBGYN.
Yes. Yes. They don't know what. Okay, I get 100. Is 100 for me? They don't know what. That's company. You only get maybe 30%, 40%, 50%, and the other is for the company. They don't ever think that. They don't even think about the depreciation of the investment. They don't think that you have to spend so much money to get so little compared to the others. And individualistic,
So, do you still like to lecture?
and not as much as before.
How many times have you lectured? How many?
In a year, 10, 15.
10 or 15 a year? You think we could ever get one of your courses on Dental Town? Then these dentists would be able to watch it on their iPhone.
I will show some concept that I try to build. It's a concept what we call monolithic. Actually, it's one step ahead from no post, no crown after endodontic, because there's new material of anamic or a hybrid ceramic that we have now. Like, it looks so nice. I think this concept can be used to minimize the use of crown and post by most of the dentists for molars area. The standard is after endodontic, post crown. I have arguing with the university and said, no, you do mutilation, you not do preserving. You cut, and then finish. And then you do the extraction and the implant. But if you do monolithic restoration with this new material available, spreadly available, you can reduce the use of post, the use of crown, where you have to mutilate the tooth. Maybe I can share that. I like that.
I wish you would, because, I mean, some of it just gets crazy, like on lower incisor root canals. And they'll say, well, to save the tooth, I need to shave all the remaining tooth structure down.
Yes.
And when they're done prepping it, the only thing there is the gutta percha.
Yes.
And it's like you just mutilated the entire
Yes.
tooth to save it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you have to do crown to protect the tooth. What you protect, you grade off everything.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love these podcasts and I love these online CE courses on the iPhone and the Android phone, on the smartphone, because I never ever see a dentist. I always think, you know, there's 7 billion humans. There's only 2 million dentists, and every time I see a dentist, I only think about the 3,000 people in that village counting on that dentist to take care of them. And so any course you can put up, I mean, if it only helped one dentist in each continent,
That's good.
save,
A lot of
you know,
teeth, lot
I mean,
of
the leverage is amazing. I mean, help a dentist, you help. What is the number, Ryan? What was 7 billion divided by?
350 or something.
Yeah, I mean, helping a dentist is the ultimate leverage play, because every time you, every time you help a dentist, you help 3,500 humans.
Yes.
I mean, how can you not want to teach dentist when the word doctor comes from docere, meaning teacher, knowing that when you teach that one doc, 3,500 people are going to have better dentistry.
For me, I just want to go down to the earth again. That doctor means guru. Doctor means teacher, and the words of doctor came from Greek. It means teacher. Why not do it? Your life as a doctor, as a teacher. Doctor is a teacher. the meaning of doctor in Greek is teacher. That's why not. Teach to someone, I don't know, to colleague, to someone else, up to you. But be a teacher. And maybe in dentistry, I like better to be sharing. I'm not the one that who knows and knows and knows that I knows. I maybe knows something, and we can share it.
Well, that was one of the greatest things in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is talking about, don't think in fear and scarcity, think in abundancy.
Yes.
And I always notice that the dentists who shared the most, helped their fellow dentists the most,
Get most.
get the most.
Yes.
They get the most
Everything.
in everything.
Not just money. Just you get happy. You get friends. Everywhere you go, it's a nice place because the people are nice to you. Yes, I agree that.
Yeah. Well, I think you're a wonderful person.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much at the end of a long conference to spend an hour with me on a podcast. And I really do hope you grace our site with a course that you're talking about on a root canal post build-up crown alternative with new materials.
Yes.
And congratulations that you're born from a dentist and you created one to replace you. I told my 4 boys not to go to dental school. That'd be a lot cheaper just to marry a dentist. So if your daughter's not married yet, I have 4. I only have 1 married. I have three single boys. And let's see, I'm trying to think of which one I'd want to get married and move off to Indonesia. That's you, Ryan. I can't think of you're here. Hey,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's
It's a pleasure to me to meet my guru, my first guru in dental economics.
Is that right?
Right.
I was your first guru. Those must have been desperate times. If I was your first guru.
No, no, because I see my father a dentist and my nephew is also a dentist, and then same part do traditional dentistry, and you came with thinking about the financial sector, the money. It's not something bad money. It's good, but how to make it not something manipulate the profession. Just do something that you have to do for money and do the professional things professional. That I cannot find it in my father and also my nephew. That's what happened. Thanks.
Well, it was an honor to be your first financial guru.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Farran.
Ryan, for filling the podcast and for being a butt of all my jokes.